Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got news of a special set. But the news we've got is really weird. We know the special set is coming. It has, in a very weird and roundabout way, been, actually officially confirmed. And we know a bunch of the cards that are in it. But that doesn't actually tell us very much about the set as a whole, and I know that sounds a little bit confusing, so let's dig in, shall we? You see, the lovely Grottenketa951 from PokerWiki.d has basically gone and put together a list of cards that were sent as not legal for play at the World Championships this year to Japanese players. Basically, Japanese players have a whole bunch of cards that we don't have. So I showed you in a video yesterday a bunch of these cards that wouldn't be legal, and one example of that was, for instance, Lost Origin. Now, Lost Origin is our name for the set. In Japan, it is made up of two sets, and that is to say Lost Abyss and Dark Phantasma. Now, those sets are out in Japan, and I mean they're already out in Japan. Those cards are available to buy, they're already out there, those cards are there. But although Japan has those cards, we don't have those cards. They're going to be coming in Lost Origin. So although those cards are officially out in Japan, they're not legal over here. And this all makes perfect sense. Here's the thing though. All of the cards that Japanese players were told aren't legal for play, they were given the English set numbers. And a bunch of those set numbers were from Sword and Shield 12.5, which is a set that, as it stands at the moment, doesn't exist. Now, this is officially sent by the Pokémon Company to Japanese players, giving them a list of cards that aren't legal for play. And that means that this Sword and Shield 12.5, we're not talking about some weird listing on a website that we're pretty sure is correct. We are talking about an actual list from the Pokémon Company given to players which tell us definitively that Sword and Shield 12.5 is a real thing and does exist. Now, the way the sets are working out at the moment is essentially, we've got Sword and Shield 11 coming, that's Lost Origin, that is confirmed, that is announced and all of that. There is then Sword and Shield 12, which should be our last set. We've not seen anything about that, not even the Japanese sets that make it up. And then we've got Sword and Shield 12.5, which is a special set. Something along the lines of Pokemon Go, for instance, or something along the lines of Celebrations, or something along the lines of Shining Fates, these kind of sets. Now, when I say special set, we have a very clear release schedule in the Pokemon TCG. We have main sets that are released in February, May, August, and November. Now, I know occasionally it goes wrong, like Lost Origin is technically being released on the 9th of September, but it is still our August set. Things get delayed, especially at the moment. But the way it essentially works is anything outside of those four main sets goes down as a special set, and that is this. Now, this is not confirmed, but what we are expecting is that the vast majority of this set is actually going to be comprised of a set called V-Star Universe. Now, this is a set we haven't actually had confirmed yet, but we had a trademark registered in Japan, and we've had some listings on Japanese sites that tell us this is coming. And this is largely conjecture, but it seems very much like this is going to be the equivalent of a VMAX Climax, which ended year 2 of the Sword and Shield TCG, or Shiny Star V that ended year 1 of the Sword and Shield TCG. This is conjecture, this is not confirmed, but this seems very likely at this stage. Remember, Shiny Star V had shiny Pokemon, whereas VMAX Climax had character rares and character super rares, but you're still talking Celebration sets that came out to end a year. Now, this is all conjecture at this stage. V-Star Universe has not been officially revealed, and we don't know what V-Star Universe is, save that it has been listed in a bunch of places and a trademark has come down. However, we do now have confirmation of a whole bunch of cards that are in Sword and Shield 12.5, which tells us that Sword and Shield 12.5 exists. And essentially what we now have confirmed is that Sword and Shield 12.5 is going to give us essentially most of the things we're missing. Like, for instance, Wooloo. I love this Wooloo. This is the Okacheke Wooloo, and it was actually released over in Japan in the Korokoro exclusive 100 start deck. That was, you bought Korokoro comic, and there was a QR code that you scanned, and that entered you into a draw, which would then potentially win you this Korokoro start deck, or the 100 start deck, Korokoro edition. But you know what? Actually, in that same deck, there was a Pikachu V, and there was an Eevee V. Now, the Pikachu V has been listed as a promo. We'll get back to that at some point in the future. But the Eevee V has been listed as coming as well. And also, we are getting the Dubwool, and that means that 3 of the 4 cards, and Pikachu has been listed as a promo, 3 of the 4 cards that were in that deck exclusively are coming out over here. Now remember, at the end of the Sword and Shield block, the last Japanese set we actually had was Tag All-Stars. And Tag All-Stars presented a problem. Because what happened was, a lot of those cards never came out. Sure, we did, in the end, get the gold Pikachu and Zekrom, and we did get the gold Reshiram and Charizard, but I hate to break it to you, ladies and gentlemen, there were a lot more gold tag teams that we never, ever actually ended up getting. A lot of the cards from Tag All-Stars, we never got. They are missing, and given that they are Sun and Moon cards, and we are now coming to the end of Sword and Shield, don't expect those cards to be coming out. I think it's highly unlikely we'll ever get them. So what we're seeing with Sword and Shield 12.5, which is going to be a special set, is that Pokemon are cleaning up. Now, in terms of a release date, couple things that are very important. We're not going to get this in 2022. And the reason I know that is super simple. Like I've said, it is highly likely, almost a given at this stage, that V-Star Universe will comprise the majority of this set, and that's not coming out in Japan until the beginning of December. Don't expect this to be a set that we get this year. They could sneak it out in December, but with their main November set coming, I would find that highly, highly unlikely. So early next year is when we should be expecting this set. That seems like a fair guess. If I had to guess, I'd be guessing January, because remember, we should be getting Scarlet and Violet 1 in February, and it would be best to get this out the way before that one comes out. So what else is coming out? There's a whole bunch of weird stuff. So remember we had that autographed Marnie, which came around in the Marnie Premium Tournament Collection? And I've been telling you, I've told you a bunch of times at this stage, that actually that was one of, 7 autographed cards that for some reason we never actually got, and that was a little bit weird. Well, the other 6 are coming in here as well. So we're getting Beedee and Hop from the first round, and we're getting Raihan, Bee, Leon, and Nessa from the second lot of autograph cards. They're all coming out. They're in this set. There was a weird Duraludon V promo which came out ages ago in Japan, and we're finally getting that. Essentially, there were a bunch of alternate art dragon cards that came through with stamps, like the stamp on Duraludon. And then there was also a Rayquaza, but the Rayquaza ended up being put into the V Battle deck as an alternate art. But then Duraludon, which was in the same run of promos, just got completely missed out. We don't need the other ones. They weren't alternate art. They were just regular cards with a stamp. But the Duraludon and Rayquaza were alternate art. Rayquaza came in the V Battle deck. So now for some reason, Duraludon, we never got it. So it gets popped in here. The Kyogre, which was a gym promo which came out rather recently, that is coming in here as well. It's not a particularly great card playability-wise, but it does find its way in here, along with the only non-V Enamorus we've ever actually seen. That comes in here. the Digging Duo from that same gym pack comes in. I'm not going to go through all the gym cards, but it seems like essentially the gym ones we've been missing that haven't come through as blister promos for whatever reason, it seems like they're coming along in this set as well. So we've got autograph promos, Cora promos, gym promos, that one random Duraludon off by itself. And then we've got some really important reprints that are coming through with new regulation marks. So for instance, Switch. Switch is going to rotate out. Now I've been telling you all along, Pokemon will never actually let Switch rotate. Switch has been here since the base set, but as it stands, Switch was on course to rotate out. Not the case, we are getting Switch with a regulation mark F. And then we're getting cards like Great Ball as well, and Potion, and Pokemon Catcher, and Energy Search, and for what it's worth, Pokeball. They are all coming out, and now we are finally getting them with that regulation mark of F, which is sneaky extremely important, because otherwise we'd be losing these cards, and that would be bad. And that's what we know of 12.5 so far. We know we're getting the autograph promos, a bunch of gym promos, a bunch of Cora promos, a bunch of regulation mark F trainer cards that we really needed, and that one Duraludon which was just hanging over. And this is good, because these were cards that we were missing, and I showed you a video the other day saying we were missing a whole bunch of cards. Well, it seems like we're finally getting answers, and these are finally coming. It is important to note, this is only a fraction of the set as a whole. We don't have a complete listing. What we do have is over 140 cards, but there are going to be a bunch of others and probably a bunch of secret rares. This is one we're going to have to wait for the time being. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we know Sword and Shield 12.5 is coming. It was on a document sent by Pokemon to competitors. We know a bunch of the cards that are in it, but I think it's fair to say that there is still a lot more that we can learn. And of course, as this is revealed, I will be here to tell you all about it. That's kind of what I do. But now I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think about all this, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can join the Patreon. And there's a Discord there. Obviously, you can join the Patreon. But there is a Discord where we chat Pokemon, we share deck lists. There's a pretty much weekly bonus pod where I'll answer all your Pokemon-related questions. And I shout out lovely people like Dark1313, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, who is a rather new Patreon, just joined last week. And a very lovely person who's now come in to join the party. So thank you, Dark1313, for being lovely and joining in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.